PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds led the charge into the Battle Royale craze way back in 2017, and now, after almost 5 years, it has gone free to play. In that time, Fortnite, Warzone and Apex Legends have claimed their slice of the Battle Royale pie. How does PUBG stack up? Is now too late to go free to play? And most importantly, is PUBG worth your time? Before we dive into the review, it should be noted that we are reviewing PUBG on console, and that this game is far more geared towards PC play. Regardless of our opinion, we recommend that if you want to try out PUBG, you should absolutely do it on PC. PUBG is a very interesting beast. During my first few matches, I hated the game, but as I played more, my opinion quickly changed. The game is kind enough not to drop you straight into the madness, and has mandatory tutorial missions. There is a quick control tutorial to teach you the basics, and then you are given 10 AI matches to get used to the flow of the game before hopping in for real. Right off the bat, this is fantastic. Battle Royales are notorious for their steep learning curves and aversion to new players. PUBG has the best introductory phase I have seen thus far. These AI matches are stupidly easy, but this is great because it allows newcomers to be braver than they would be in, say, Warzone. There are no real stakes in these matches, and you can afford to be extremely aggressive to get the feel of gunfights. It is also not mandatory that you complete 10 of these matches. Once you finish the given challenges, you can hop into the real thing. I have to give it to PUBG here. This is a really tough game to get into, and the game does a solid job of easing new players in. Then the game opens up completely. PUBG boasts a total of 7 unique maps, and they are all in rotation for you to play. This is fantastic for variety. We all love the Fortnite Island or Warzone's Rebirth Island, but playing the same map can get very samey. PUBG offers variety in spades. I do think that the maps are a bit bland personally, lots of open space and samey towns, but the variety here is unparalleled, and it should be commended. Overall gunplay and vehicle controls are solid. Guns are intuitive to control, but lack the oomph of a satisfying firearm. Vehicles feel great to drive. Unfortunately, the core of this game is extremely clunky. Let's break this down. Movement doesn't feel good. Moving around is awkward and I would frequently get stuck on terrain. This is a very slow-paced game, but trying to outmaneuver other players or escape the storm is a key proponent of Battle Royale, and it isn't as simple here. I do really like that movement speed between standing, crouched and prone is comparable. You can be stealthy without being sluggish. Looting is a mixed bag. Initial looting sucks, but player looting is the best I've seen. Loot is designated to piles on the floor, and this can make it extremely hard to grab exactly what you want. This is a major issue that can get you killed under the right circumstances. We're also not a fan that weapons are unloaded when you pick them up. I'm not sure why this is a feature, but it slows the initial game down and can prevent smart comebacks under the right circumstances. On the other hand, looting dead players is amazing. They drop these handy little crates and you can simply loot what you need with ease. Fortnite and Warzone both struggle with not allowing the player to easily pick up what they need. I'd actually fix my qualms with initial looting by just relegating loot to crates. I did also enjoy the focus on longer range combat here. Sniper battles in Warzone usually devolve into peeking until somebody lands their shot. PUBG allows for long-range back and forths that make for decent gunfights and allow for disengagement. You should absolutely play this game with headphones, as the sound design when it comes to speakers is poor. It was consistently hard to pinpoint where gunshots were coming from, and this coupled with not being able to deduce where you're getting shot from via visual cues led to some deaths that felt unfair. Once we switched to playing with headphones, we had a much better time. My biggest problem with the gameplay is match pacing. PUBG matches are extremely slow. The circle collapses are spaced out far too much and the whole match slows to a crawl in the midsection. You can go upwards of 10 minutes without seeing a single soul, let alone fighting them. I understand that this is a slower paced battle royale, but I think that this is bordering on boring. When all is said and done though, I was having fun. Final circles are suitably tense and I did want to play more. Kills feel satisfying to get, and if you're smart about positioning, you can clean house. Unfortunately, poor pacing and clunkiness bring the game down for us. We're starting PUBG off with a 3 out of 5 for gameplay. This game looks worse than it did in 2017. Poor textures, horrendous popping, and bland music make for awful art direction. I do have one merit to give the game's art style. Seeing enemies is super easy. I was always able to pinpoint enemies I was fighting with and never lose them, even if we were fighting long range. Solid stuff. Overall though, the game just looks awful. The art style is bland and uninspired, and the whole experience just feels cheap. PC does have options to improve the look of the game, but polishing a turd is a hard thing to do. Texture popping is egregious. From the plane, the map is a flat textureless blob. Weapons look decent in both third and first person, but lack that detail polish and don't look or feel satisfying to fire. Overall, this is bad. Even when Warzone was having awful texture issues, it looked better than this. There is little, if anything, to praise here, and thus, PUBG gets a 1 out of 5 for art direction. There is no narrative in PUBG. This is a purely gameplay driven game. In that sense, the lack of narrative is perfectly suited to the gameplay, but Warzone, Apex, and especially Fortnite have proven that narrative can be incorporated to enhance the Battle Royale experience, and PUBG is left feeling a little bland without context. At present, it's just a bunch of people dropping into an island to murder each other. PUBG is getting a 2 out of 5 for its narrative offerings on the fact that the lack of narrative suits gameplay perfectly, but every other Battle Royale made the push to outclass PUBG in this regard. Negativity time is over, ladies and gentlemen. The sheer amount of content and settings on offer almost bring a tear to my eye. PUBG is core Battle Royale, and offers up solo, duos, and 4-man squad action on its 7 maps. Games can be either third person or locked first person, which I just love, and there is a toggle between casual and ranked playlists. There is a great selection of weapons once you drop in, and everything feels viable. The maps, whilst not looking great, are varied and serve to keep the gameplay spicy. Then there are all the tweaks you can make to the game. This is beautiful. Let's start off strong. There are 4 control types: basic, aim, vehicle, and map. There are controller presets for these control schemes, or, if you want, each one is completely remappable. Regular settings are split into 4 sections. There's a quick select for controller presets. You can also invert both the X and Y axis. Dead zones can be tweaked for each stick, and vibration has an intensity slider as well as a toggle. There are loads of sensitivity options, including sliders for forward running, movement, vertical, general, vehicle driver, over-the-shoulder aiming, and inventory cursor sensitivity. There is also a toggle for aim acceleration and a slider for aim acceleration rates. Finally, sensitivity can be tweaked for each level of scope zoom. This is a solid set of control options, and there's still plenty more. Gameplay has a lot of varied options for you. You can select your language, toggle cross-platform play, and enable or disable the game DVR if you're playing on Xbox One. There are some solid UI options, including colorblind presets, crosshair colors, toggles for on-screen tips with detail level, network debug stats, compass background, loot flash effects settings, and inventory tooltips. Functionalities lets you tweak a lot of weapon settings. You can alter reticle type and brightness. There are also options to set default firing modes for every single weapon type. Auto functions can also be toggled here. You can enable or disable auto reloads, attachment equips, with a separate setting for scope, attachment replace, and auto swapping of weapon and vehicle skins. You can decide whether or not you want to have your helmet visible, toggle radio messages, set certain items for continuous use, and enable additional action queuing. Finally, there are observer settings. There's a slider for camera speed, and toggles for player tags, weapon tags, X-ray vision, damage indicators, smoke grenade timers, and bullet tracers with team color differentiation options. There is also a def cam. Audio keeps it simple, but has some great quality of life options. You can toggle master, gameplay, UI, and music volume, or there are sliders for more intimate control. You can also select your lobby music. Graphics settings on console are slim, but still decent. PC has some insane options. Here, you can tweak safe area, field of view, brightness, and toggle universal brightness for all maps. This is unbelievably solid. I am super impressed with the content on offer here, but I'm even more impressed with the sheer amount of settings and options here. Bravo to the team. Enjoy your 5 out of 5 for specs. PUBG has a fair respect for your time and money. Let's break it down. Hard drive footprint is fairly large at just under 26GB, but this is a far cry from the insanity that is the space required by Warzone or Apex Legends. There are no gameplay related unlocks. When you drop in, the only thing differentiating everyone is skill. You can hop in as much or as little as you like and never feel like you're falling behind. Matches last a maximum of around 30 minutes. This is a little longer than other battle royales, but is still a manageable play session. The game is very slow paced, but that seems to be by design. The game doesn't purposely waste your time. There are some earnable cosmetics too, good stuff. The store is actually pretty good here. You can buy what you like a la carte and sets are bundled together for a discount. Take note, Call of Duty and Halo. This is how you do it. Prices are still very high though. You're looking at about £15 for an outfit bundle, and even for free-to-play games, that price point is ridiculous. This is an industry-wide problem, but PUBG still loses merit for it. Then there are time-gated loot boxes. The goodies in here are only cosmetic, but when there isn't a ton of earnable gear and the store is already charging an arm and a leg, this feels like a kick in the teeth. Still, it really doesn't affect the gameplay all that much. In the end, PUBG has a solid respect for your time and the store is better than most, even if the prices are high. We're rounding this one out with a 4 out of 5 on our commitment scale. PUBG is worth your time. There's a lot wrong with the art direction here, but buried underneath is a fun game. It won't be taking the place of Warzone in my heart, but I had a solid time with this game, and I do look forward to what I'll play of it in the future. This is a battle royale for the hardcore tactical gang. Take your time, pick your shots, and learn your positioning because it will save your life. There's a lot of variety here, and if this looks like the battle royale for you, I think you'll have a field day. PUBG is as classic a battle royale as you can get these days, and sometimes a little bit of simplicity can go a long way.